Welcome back, I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw this T-Rex. It's going to be a full-body T-Rex as the last drawing in 2016. Probably a lot of people are doing this on their YouTube channels, but yeah, this is going to be my last video in 2016, and we'll be starting 2017 tomorrow, which is a big deal, so yeah. Wanted to make it special, and T-Rex is always special, my favorite dinosaur. Yeah, and this is a drawing I did earlier, just to use as a reference image. I won't be copying anywhere. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing to do is make sure we can fit the entire T-Rex on the page. So we're going to put about 2 lines right here, just to measure. Put in a tail. T-Rex doesn't have a very big tail. Body. Tail is probably a little longer because the legs are right about here. Body. Neck and head. So the head's pretty big. Right about there. Neck. This is just a brief outline. Tail, I think it should be a little longer. Mouth is going to be open, so this foot is going to be lifted up. We'll put the claws. So this is best way to do an outline, just very, very quick, and just to get, so we won't make any mistakes. So instead of starting with the head, I'm just going to start basically, I'm going to start with the tail and head this way to avoid smearing, and also because I always make the mistake of not having the whole tail in the picture. So I want the whole tail in the picture this time. So we're going to start by putting in a bigger line, thicker line that would be harder to erase. So it's definitely not an outline. Put the short tail of T-Rex in. Might move its legs up a bit more, just to give it a little bit more tail. Because if it looks too short, it looks cartoonish then. So the hip bone will be right about there. That looks swell. So first time I think that I've gotten the full tail on a video, on a full length video, so full body length T-Rex video, because I usually don't get the full tail in videos that the whole dinosaur stretched out across the page. So yep, there's our tail. And now the second part about doing the tail is we put a midline that most reptiles have. So you'd expect the T-Rex to have it, and I usually draw it like that. And also we need to put in parts of the leg, just so we know where to stop. That's the back of the calf, or not the calf, the thigh bone, thigh leg part. I always end up stuttering with body parts, like. So we're going to concentrate more on the tail now. So usually what I do is I put this type of lines that go up and down for the top of the tail. And you want to make them sort of round so you can get the real feel of the roundness of the tail, so it doesn't look completely flattened out like a pancake. And then on the bottom I put lines going across, sort of like that. I'm going to darken this line a bit. And then I put some darker lines in, like so. See, it's already giving me a lot of nice texture lines. You have some coming up from the top. And that really makes it look real. When you bend the lines, and so you can really see the bend in the tail. And that all makes it look more 3D. So once we get confident with that, we can finish out the rest of the tail. Trust you all had a very nice Christmas. I certainly did. It was very fun. And I got a bunch of new drawing equipment. Some like pencil erasers, even though I don't have them with me right now. And I got, yeah, new drawing pads and stuff like that. I'm always short on drawing pads because I fill one out about every 2 months. And they're pretty thick. Each one's got about like 100 pages, so that would equal about 100 drawings. And about a quarter of those would be YouTube videos. Like, I don't use anything special, I just use a regular paper pad. So the middle of the tail, we want to show where the bones would be. So yeah, we've already got a lot of good texture there on the tail. Even though it's taken us around almost 7 minutes to draw. We're not counting the outline. No. And also, you can put some more wrinkles on the bottom of the tail. Just with lines going back and forth, different directions, we already have a nice textured tail. That's even without putting spikes or scales. It's a very nice tail. So put those, some more texture lines in, and then we'll put in some scales. Not that many, but you have to make them kind of dark if you want them to actually be seen, because the tail's already quite dark. I'm just going to put them in random directions. Like in the picture I drew earlier, I had a lot more time. It took me about an hour to do that one, or probably more, because I worked on it in 2 separate days. So I was able to put a lot of refinement in. But we don't have 2 hours or so today, so we're going to take the shortcut and not put that many scales in. Another way to do scales, I've probably told you that already, is to just do a pencil swirl going up. It's quite effective in situations like this. When everything's so dark, it's hard you can't really tell that the person did it or not. And then I always end up having to darken the midline so people can actually see it. The tip of the tail is always more challenging because it's so small you can't put much detail in it. Put a little bit more detail there. Some scales in. Yeah, that looks really nice. Very nice tail. But we're not going to spend 10 minutes, which we already almost have spent 10 minutes on our tail, making it look very exquisite. And now we can head and put in some spikes. Not like Indominus spikes, just put in like smaller spikes that are farther apart, not so large. And you can get them larger as they get toward the back. So that looks really good for the tail. We finished in about 10 minutes. And now we can head to the leg. So the leg is a lot of fun, but also a challenge. So put in the hip bone or hip area, which would be like right there. And T-Rex has a very thick leg, which enabled it to run fast to catch its slower prey, i.e. Triceratops and Hadrosaurus, or duckbills, whatever. So I start by putting these lines in that will indicate the muscles in the leg. It almost looks like an Indominus leg because it's so thick, but this is basically a hyped T-Rex. So go ahead and put those lines in. We're not going to refine them just yet. First I have to put in the calf. So put a nice round. I'll zoom in so you can see it better. Nice round calf, and then put the ankle. We'll do the ankle soon. And we'll give it more of a like running pose, so the leg has to be slightly bent, it can't be just straight. And now we can put in the feet, which are not that hard. Just put in 3 tubular type structures. Then we'll put in some padding for the feet. This is the first full body length T-Rex I've done. I did another one from Jurassic World, the game, but it's sort of at an angle. I like that one a lot. It's one of my most popular videos. If you haven't checked that out, you can go check it out on my channel. But I'm sure this one will be just as good, if not better, because I did the other one a while back. And it was a 3-part video, and 3-part videos are kind of annoying. I like to watch 1-part videos better than 2-part videos. So now we can put this, I'm going to work from the bottom up basically, so you don't smear that much. We'll put in the scales that are on top of the toes. And I make them go up here. And they fade. So that's pretty good for the feet. Give it some texture. Maybe add a few scales here and there. And we're going to put that little dew claw in. So feel free to put in a lot of scales. Once you get practice with scales, they're not that hard. I'm going to make this leg a little thin because it looks a little bit too big, in my opinion. And also make the tail look a little bit longer. Make the leg look more like that. Legs are always a challenge for me. Then we'll shade in the calf piece, but leave it a little bit lighter here. That'll give it a nice texture. Put some scales. Scales are the big key to make your dinosaur look very professional. So you'll see it took time to put in all the scales. Like one picture I did had a lot of scales in it, like it was T-Rex fighting Triceratops. It used to be my picture on my channel, but I don't have it anymore. I have this T-Rex actually, and that one had a lot of scales. It was like immense scaling. So I'll move that a bit there. Put some shading in. And we'll put some wrinkles in the back of the leg. Along with some scales, of course. I'll zoom in on the leg a bit more. That's a little too much, but I don't want it to fuzz. So I'm gonna put in those scales. I'll put in a little bit more texture here. So I just wanted to let you guys know that in the future I'm going to do, sometime in January probably, a video on how to draw people from Jurassic World, because I believe one of you commented that you were having a little bit of trouble with people, and I've experience with people I draw a lot of. Like I've done around 6 portraits this year. They turn out modestly good, some better than others. So yeah, I'll do a video on people sometime soon. Like I'll probably draw Owen, Claire, Barry, Hoskins. Maybe not Hoskins, I don't know. I don't really feel like drawing Zach or Gray, but I could. Like I didn't really like the character Gray in Jurassic World. I liked Zach better. More of a teenager, you know. Gray was like a little kid, but and like movies like that, they always make the actors always older than the age they're supposed to portray. It's like Zach was, I believe, is supposed to be like 16 in the movie, but the actor's like 19 or around there. Or maybe he was like 18 at the time that they filmed. It's impossible to tell actually when they filmed, and like when the movie comes out. So here we're going to leave a little bit more of a white spot just to give it some shine, so like the sun would be reflecting there, so the scales get really faint. You can still put some in, but make them really light. It'll give the T-Rex a better look. I'll put some faint scales in. So that looks really good for the leg. Now we have to move on to the torso. And of course this other leg. So yeah, I'm going to put in the other leg through the body so I can measure it perfectly. The other leg is going to be bent, so that's about the right length. Then it's going to be folded here, and then curled up like that. But of course it's going to be hiding behind the T-Rex. So this, the other one I did is really accurate because I traced it over a skeleton. So it's exactly the size, a little bigger than the skeleton, but because skin always adds extra stuff. But I didn't like. So the body's actually this size. The tail is not as long as a lot of times people make the tail of T-Rex so long. But, I mean, Allosaurus has a long tail, but T-Rex does not have a really extra long tail compared to some dinosaurs. So now we can put in this foot. I'm gonna go ahead and do that before we do anything else. And I'm gonna erase some of the smear that my hand has caused. So this one should be pretty easy. Just going to be the leg. There's the dew claw. It's just going to be the foot and the ankle lifted up. We have all three claws, or all three toes in the air. And we will refine them just like we did the other ones. We put some shading in, put the claws in. Broke my lead there. I've been doing that recently, it's annoying me. I did it several times in the Mosasaur video on Christmas Eve. That was annoying. See how that looks pretty good for this? And we're going to shade in the leg because it's hidden under the torso. And we'll take our eraser and erase this area. I got this eraser for Christmas as well. It's a nice, crisp, clean, and completely new eraser. I always like new erasers because they're soft. So here's the same midpoint that was on the tail. We'll continue it here. And also a line here to distinguish the backbone from the belly. And a lot of people call my art shrink-wrapped dinosaurs because I think I wrapped the skin too tight around the skeleton, but that's how I like to draw it. So like I post a lot of my stuff on Google Plus, and a lot of people are like, oh, you shrink wrapped your dinosaurs. And T-Rex is supposed to have feathers and lips. I just can't, I'm going to draw a T-Rex with feathers or lips. I like drawing them Jurassic Park, Jurassic World style. That's the type I've grown up with, so. Unless someday I start working with some scientist and he's like, oh, you have to draw them scientifically accurate, then I might do it, but I'm not going to draw them with feathers or lips because it's not really appealing. So we can put the scales in here, or not the scales, the ribs. Not the real ribs, they're just like the faint lines that you would be able to see through the skin. We're going to put some veins here just to give the T-Rex a really realistic look. So this one's, for me, this is pretty realistic, this T-Rex, because everyone can interpret what the T-Rex look like because nobody's seen it, and we just have skeletons, and I was using a skeleton for the other one. Therefore, this is my interpretation of an accurate T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. So you can have some lines going back and forth. Give it some more texture, and of course we'll put scales in. I know the scales take a while, but they always make everything look so much better. Let's put in a bit more shading there. That looks good for the stomach area. Now I'll work on the backbone here. To erase that line I made. A stake there. So we'll continue the spikes. They get a little thicker here. I'll add a bit more texture to the backbone. So now we'll put in the shoulder piece. It's not very hard. Mostly shading and scales. Put faint scales here and there. And now we can add in T-Rex's mighty arms. Second time I've broken the lead in my pencil. T-Rex's arms were actually larger than a man's, so they're not small arms. They're small compared to the body, but they're in fact very large compared to a human arm. But then of course the T-Rex head compared to a human head is really enormous, so in that for instance it does have small arms compared to its body size. A T-Rex could win probably any human in an arm wrestle. It's got very muscled arms, and the bone, like just the bones up from the arm, would be basically as thick as the average man's muscled arm. So put the opposite arm in. Mostly it will be shaded. You don't want to get too in the way of the first arm. And now we will head on to the neck and the head. That's the basic shape of the neck, and the head will be, we don't want to make the head too big, so the head basically has to fit in this area or else it'll look too large. So now we're going to continue to the neck and head. We'll put the same midline that is on the belly and the tail, and we will put in some veins as well. Some neck veins, basically. We'll make the spike look a little bit better. And also I'll put some more. Third time I've broken the lead on my pencil. I apologize. So open these lines here that I had put on my other drawing. Basically, they're deep wrinkles. Just put some more shading on the neck. I'll go ahead and put in the spikes. Probably I won't put a spike here. Put in some more shading there. And of course I'll add some scales. Just for good measure. So now for the highlight of the drawing, the head. I'll zoom in a bit so we can get true feel of the head. Its jaw is going to be slightly opened. Like that. So far, this is a really nice drawing. First, we'll put the ear in right there, and we'll put the the outline basically. So that's going to be the ridge above the eye. And we'll round off the tip. It's probably better if I start off drawing the bottom of it. Keep it a little bit more rounded. T-Rex has more of a round snout compared to other meat-eating dinosaurs, and is often hard to perfect. Let's put that ridge, and we'll work a little bit on the ridge above the eye. The eye is going to be right about here. And we'll put the cavity that's around the eye. Put this other cavity here that was probably just meant to keep the T-Rex's skull more light, so it wouldn't be too heavy. Still have to work a bit on the snout here to make it look like a T-Rex's. Have to get the exact right angle, like that. It's pretty good. I'll erase a bit there. Put this cavity in, and the nose, the tip. Put some wrinkles in there, just to get a better look, and we'll cover the face with scales. You can shade in this cavity here, but feel free to put scales in it as well. I'm going to put lots of scales on the head, because the head is the most important part of T-Rex, and the part it's most famed for. People often say it's a jaw on head. Oh, no, a jaw on legs. Jaws on legs. I think that's the right saying. So that looks pretty good for the head there. And now we can put in the bottom jaw, which is very thick. Unlike other meat-eating dinosaurs, with very thin bottom jaws, like Carnotaurus or Allosaurus. Put some scales on the bottom jaw there. Put this muscle in there that would open and close the jaw, or at least help give it a really strong bite. And now we can do the teeth, the part we've been waiting for. Teeth of T-Rex. So for the teeth, you want to make them, basically every other tooth is big, and then there's a small one, then a big one, small one, big one. I find that the best way to make T-Rex's teeth look really infamous and deadly looking. Its chin seems to be going out a bit too much, so I'll move it back like that. So yeah, that looks really good for our T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Tyrant Lizard, King of the Dinosaurs. So yeah, this video is coming to a close. I'm going to put some shading underneath the foot, so it doesn't look like it's just standing there in midair. Put some ground there. So yeah, be sure to like this video, share it, comment if you feel like it, subscribe if you have not already done so, and check out my channel for more how to draw different dinosaur videos. I've got a lot of different ones. Just realized I haven't put the other side of the jaw. That's okay. That's what we were missing, the other side. So yeah, sign this, your drawing, and this will be the last time on my channel I will be doing signing it with 2016. Next video will be Daniel DR 2017. So yeah, let me zoom out so you guys can see the full image of the mighty T-Rex.